Here we go. Here we go. I have got a doozy of a lesson here for you today. Lesson 135 taught me a lot today. I meditated on it this morning and I just reread it. It's a long one. It's a longer one out of the Course of Miracles that I'm used to. I don't know. Like, this is lesson 135 out of a whole year's worth of lessons. So I don't know how long they get in the future, but if they're like this, I mean, the amount of amazing knowledge and information and truth in this lesson is just, it blew my mind. I meditated on this morning, like I mentioned, I think, and I just went through and read it again to take it in even more before I go over and read it again here on a video. So the more time I spend in this, the better I know that life will be in general for everyone, for me and anyone that connects to this, and anyone that starts to live more into this. And it's a Sunday morning, and I typically don't get time on a Sunday morning to do something like this. So here you go. Exactly what this lesson is going to talk about, how things transpire and how things work. Sorry, I was just having something to eat before I got on here. So here, let's just jump right into it. Let's just get into it because there's a ton in this. I mean, more than I'm probably even taking out of it, but whew. Anyway, so lesson 135. If I defend myself, I am attacked. Paragraph 1. Who would defend himself unless he thought he were attacked? That the attack were real and that his own defense could save himself. So right off the bat, it's again, this course is just reiterating the illusions of what we think of as reality, which it isn't. And herein lies the folly of defense. It gives illusions for reality and then attempts to handle them as real. It adds illusions to illusions, right? So we're already in an illusion, and then we're defending that illusion. Right, this is mad. I don't know if it's just the place I'm in today, the place where I'm in my life right now, or how this is hitting me, but it's hitting me super powerful today. I had so many insights and so many things come through today. Unbelievable. So it's not unbelievable, it's divine. So anyway, let me finish that. It adds illusions to illusions, thus making correction doubly difficult. So the more we go down this path, the more we don't get out of our old thinking and into godness, into goodness, into love, into universe, into what is, we're making things doubly difficult coming back to what's true in our lives. Because all I know and I feel, and I'm starting to really intuitively just pick up on things more and more in my life. I think what it is I'm going from knowing to being. And yeah, I'll just move on because I can't remember. I'm losing my train of thought where I was going with that, but that I just wanted to add that. I was talking about how it was doubly difficult to come back out. The longer you live, I mean, there's so many examples of this showing up in my life. It's crazy how it's divinely crazy how yesterday happened and then this lesson comes up today, because it even mentions something in here about being gently guided throughout your life. If being gently guided your whole life, whether you see it or believe it or not. It's been happening for you. I'm starting to have less and less doubt in that. I'm not fully there yet. I'm always honest and transparent about where I'm at and all that on this channel. And, some of this is really hard to take in at times. But again, like I said in the last video, which I thought was powerful, is something in me knows. Something in me is like, you ain't going anywhere but further into who you really are and what you're here to do. So, and it is this you do when you attempt to plan the future, activate the past, or organize the present as you wish. So it gets into a lot of how future planning and not being in the now and all kinds of great stuff in this lesson. So paragraph 2, you operate from the belief you must protect yourself from what is happening because it must contain what threatens you. A sense of threat is an acknowledgement of an inherent weakness, a belief that there is danger, which has power to call on you to make appropriate defense. The world is based on this insane belief. There it is again, calling out, the Course in Miracles, constantly calling out what we've been dragged off track, right? We've been dragged away from God. We've been disconnected. We've been taken down this darker path in this world. It continues to call that out. And all its structures, all its thoughts and doubts, its penalties and heavy ornaments. I love this part right here. Its legal definitions and its codes, its ethics and its leaders and its gods all serve but to preserve its sense of threat. For no one walks the world in armature but must have terror striking at his heart. Couple of things here. Like, one thing that I started to learn about massively was these legal definitions. When it talks about these legal definitions and its codes in here, right? There's one law we should be following, and that's God's law. That's it could be referred to. There's different. I actually wanted to get a couple books I had out, and I didn't get them out. There is common law, or natural law of man, or God's law, maybe it could be referred as. There's a law that every human being should learn about. If you don't know of this, you should go search it out and learn about it and know about it. Because this man-made legal definitions and codes crap is exactly that. It's man-made stuff made of, maybe I won't go that deep into this right now, but I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of it is not made in a good nature. I'll leave it at that. And then the end sentence, the last sentence that I mentioned, terror striking at its heart, right? That's how this entity, or this, I always talk about this other force, this darker force, or this, this other thing that really doesn't exist but seems like it exists, right? That's how it wins. It keeps you in fear. It keeps you in terror. It keeps you wanting, oh, please give me safety. Please save me from this. It's all an illusion. It's all trickery. So paragraph 3, defense is frightening. It stems from fear. Increasing fear as each defense is made. You think it offers safety. Here it's going to start talking about safety. Yet it speaks of fear made real and terrified justified. Yet it speaks of fear made real and terror justified. Is it not strange you do not pause to ask? As you elaborate your plans and make your own armor thicker and your locks more tight. So we're going down this road. We're just trying to be more defensive is what this is saying, right? We're just trying to make, how does it say? Your armor thicker and your locks more tight. What you defend and how and against what, right? What are you defending yourself against? You don't need to defend yourself against anything. I think it later on, it even says in here, heaven asks for not, like heaven asks, we'll get to that later. Paragraph 4, let us consider first what you defend. It must be something that is very weak and easily assaulted. It must be something made easy prey, unable to protect itself and needing your defense. What but the body has such frailty? That constant care and watchful, deep concern are needful to protect its little life. So here it's telling you, it's letting you know this isn't real. This isn't, the body's not, it's temporary. There's other lessons that went into this. This is a temporary stay for your godness, your spirit, your soul, however you want to go down that path. Because I'm reading a different book that goes into how these are all different. These things are different. There's actual definitions and stuff in The Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes about the spirit and the soul and all this stuff. So go down a road. Go seek this out. Go seek truth. Go seek your truth. You're unique, just like I am, put here to do the universe, God's work. You have a purpose and a meaning of being here. Okay, where was I? What but the body falters and must fail to serve the Son of God as worthy host. Paragraph 5, yet it is not the body that can fear, nor be a thing of fear. It has no needs but those which you assign to it. It needs no complicated structure or defense, No health-inducing medicine, no care, and no concern at all. Now that sentence there was a little, I had to really okay, all right, I'll take this in. Doesn't need any concern at all. It's basically what this is saying, what this lesson will get even further into is the mind. A sick mind creates a sick body. A healed mind creates a healed body. That's the gist of what it's trying to get to here. And I know this can be, if you're newer to this stuff, it can be really hard to take this in and change your views and your beliefs on this. But I'm going to tell you something. I would not be sitting here recording these videos and doing this if I didn't truly believe there was truth in all of this. And I'm feeling it in that part in me that knows. Defend its life, talking about the body, defend its life or give its gifts to make it beautiful or walls to make it safe, and you but say your home is open to the thief of time. So here it's telling you, again, the body is not, it's temporary stay. It's not really real. Outside the body, there's miracles waiting to happen. I'm not even going there because I won't know until I know. Nothing can take what you truly are. Time can't take what you truly are away. So let me go over that again. Defend its life and give it gifts to make it beautiful or walls to make it safe, and you but say your home is open to the thief of time, corruptible and crumbling, so unsafe it must be guarded with your very life. So if you believe this and you don't live into the fact that you are this eternal spirit of a being, that could be why maybe you're sick or not feeling so well, right? Your beliefs are misconstrued. Maybe not true. Let's just open up our minds here and take something new in. That's all. Let it in a little. Paragraph 6. Is not this picture fearful? Can you be at peace with such a concept of your home? Think about that. If that's what you really believe, you're just a body and you're temporary stay, and death is death, really death. And death's not a grand new beginning or a new or just what it's like birth or, I'm just going to stop there because this stuff is so broad, so deep that sometimes I get to talking about things on this channel. I'm like, I shouldn't even go here right now because I got other stuff I got to cover. So that's a pretty fearful way to live, right? That you're only a body and that your time, the time you're here, that's all you have. Can you be at peace with such a concern? Can you be at peace with such a concept of your home? How can you get a peace of mind if that's really the case? Yet what endowed the body with the right to serve you, thus accept your own belief? It is your mind which gave the body all functions that you see in it, and set its value far beyond a little pile of dust and water. I chuck, sometimes I'm in these meditations, and I start to chuckle at the way that the stuff that discourse, the way it says stuff sometimes. That's what the body, dust and water. That's what it's going to come down to at some point, right? Who would make defense of, or that's, kind of what it is. Maybe at the beginning who would make defense of something that he recognized as this? The body is in need of no defense. This cannot be this is paragraph 7. The body is in need of no defense. This cannot be too often emphasized. It will be strong and healthy if the mind does not abuse it by assigning it roles it cannot fulfill, to purposes beyond its scope, and to exalted aims which it cannot accomplish. Such attempts, ridiculous yet deeply cherished, are the sources for the many mad attacks you make upon it. For it seems to fail your hopes, your needs, your values, and your dreams. Right? The body can't, it's the mind. We got to focus on healing the mind. We focus on healing the mind, the body will just be its servant. Now, I have to say this. I have to say this. I think that things when this is going to be another deeper thing to get into, really. I mentioned yesterday, there's two things that I'm focusing on right now. Purification, which is kind of part of this course. God, what I'm doing right now, connecting more to what is, that's purifying you to, purifying me. Then there's I'm trying to purify the body so that it can work, whatever. But that's kind of contradicts what it's saying here. And I think because when this was made, or when the beginning, think about the beginning of time, think about the beginning of man, right? He wakes and sleeps with the sun cycle. He's getting the freshest food possible. The soils, I don't know. We won't even go there, but like fresh food, and there's probably so much less toxicity. There's not EMF everywhere. There's all these things that, somebody at that time, a human at that time, isn't dealing with, that we are, right? So the second thing that I mentioned, detoxification, I think is we really need to help the body out a little bit. That's where I'm at with things. That's my opinion. So I don't think that you can just think right and then the body, I could be wrong here. I could be off here, but these are my thoughts right now, where I'm at. That we have to allow it, help the body out from some of the what the darkness has brought into the world, because God wouldn't bring things that would harm us or make us suffer, So this is all man-made. This is all kind of a dark force or a dark entity, like I've described, that I believe is, this 1% club at the top, this thing that's human and not even, maybe even non-human, not even part of this dimension or realm or however. But this is, again, opening your mind up to things that we were never taught. This is, the establishment doesn't want you to think this way. It doesn't want you to think openly and independently and all that kind of thing. So where was I now? Yeah, okay. Paragraph 8. The self that needs protection is not real. The body, valueless and hardly worth the least defense, need merely be perceived as quite apart from you. And this is good here. Be perceived as quite apart from you, and it becomes a healthy, serviceable instrument through which the mind can operate until its usefulness is over. Who would want to keep it when its usefulness is done? Right? So it's saying basically that the body is the mind's tool. It's at its surface. And, its time is limited. The body's time is limited. Paragraph 9. Defend the body and you have attacked your mind. For you have seen in it the faults, the weaknesses, the limits, and the lacks from which you think the body must be saved. You will not see the mind as separate from bodily conditions, and you will impose upon the body all the pain that comes from the conception of the mind as limited and fragile, and apart from other minds and separate from its source. So again, there's unity in there. There's the always connectedness, always connected to other minds, other people, and source itself, God, and all that is in the universe. Paragraph 10. These are the thoughts in need of healing, and the body will respond with health when they have been corrected and replaced with truth. So it's saying, you get the mind right, the body will heal. This is the body's only real defense. Yet is this where you look for its defense? You offer its protection of a kind from which it gains no benefit at all, but merely adds to your distress of mind. You do not heal, but merely take away the hope of healing. For you fail to see where hope must lie if it be meaningful. Paragraph 11. A healed mind does not plan. This gets into a whole nother thing right here, which is, I absolutely love this. This was very true for me. I've gone down this path in the past couple of years of feeling that way so massively, like really want to live an unstructured life, not planning, not working some mundane job I can't stand is dragging the life out of me and such. So over the past couple of years, I've made all these changes in my life. This part is hitting me like a ton of bricks. So I want to bring this, definitely continue on with this lesson, no doubt. Let's see, where was I? I'm sorry. Wait, I was all the way down here. I'm sorry, I was way off. Paragraph 11. A healed mind does not plan. It carries out the plans that it receives through listening to wisdom that is not its own. So here is this same thing showing up in my life through meditating or taking time out with this course, or taking, both, the combination of both, and listening and taking in intuitively what is, not learning it for some other human or other, not that can't be a part of your journey. That's not a part of how I got here or all that. Other humans are other kind of fragments and pieces of God to me, really. I've shared that plenty of times in other videos. They're angels. That's the thing. All this stuff has been transpiring. Here, let me move this a little bit. Sorry. There's just angels all around us, a couple things. I think I mentioned earlier in the video about yesterday. Some things transpired yesterday. I look back on them now and I'm like, we're about to get to that part here where it has the sentence in here that's so true. And so in my life, I've just been letting go, right, of schedules and routines and all this stuff, trying to just get more and more present in the now, because that's the only place that we really can do anything, right? The past is the past. It's, hopefully you learn some things and you're moving forward, and we can't plan. We don't need to plan out the future. That's a sign. That's what it'll get into. It's a sign of fear. It's a sign of terror. It's a sign of anxiety. I know it's created a bunch in my life. A healed mind does not plan. It carries out the plans that it received through listening to wisdom, and through listening to wisdom that is not its own. It waits until it has been taught what should be done, and then proceeds to do it. It does not depend upon itself for anything except its adequacy to fulfill the plans assigned to it. It is secure in certainty that obstacles cannot impede its progress to accomplishment of any goal that serves a greater plan established for the good of everyone. That's a key sentence. Been highlighting the heck out of this one, and that was the sentence I highlighted. Paragraph 12. A healed mind is relieved of the belief that it must plan. Although it cannot know the outcome which is best, the means by which it is achieved, nor how to recognize the problem that the plan is made to solve. So you're not to know any of that. You're not to plan this out. You're not to plan anything out, And I'm not saying, sometimes I'll take things too literally and go too far into them, but, how many of us are really living in this really planned out, structured life? How does that really feel? It must misuse the body and its plans until it recognizes this is so. But when it is accepted, this is true, then it is healed and lets the body go. Paragraph 13. Enslavement of the body to the plans the unhealed mind sets up to save itself must make the body sick. It is not free to be healed, it is not free to be the means of helping in a plan which far exceeds its own protection and which needs its service for a little while. In this capacity is health assured. For everything the mind employs for this will function flawlessly and with the strength that has been given it and cannot fail. Paragraph 14. It is perhaps not easy to perceive that self-initiated plans are but defenses. This is where I got into this, and I thought, this is really good. This is lining up right with where I'm at. So I'm probably sharing this on this channel. With the purpose of all of them, it is perhaps not easy to perceive that self-initiated plans are but defenses. With the purpose of all of them were made to realize they are the means by which a frightened mind would undertake its own protection at the cost of truth. So with these plans, with this planned out life, with, how many people are going off of what other people wanted for their lives? I want to be a doctor. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be an astronaut. I want to be these things because that's what you saw on TV growing up, or the teacher in the classroom said, or some other kid beside you wanted, right? And then these people grow up and they're just going after this. Basically what's happening in a nutshell is you're using your free will for something that you weren't meant to be here to do. And I'm not saying that's everyone, and we don't need any of these things, but any of these jobs that I'm thinking in the future, you're going to be really probably blown away by what happens in the future. I think there's a lot of artificial intelligent things that are going to come in and take a lot of jobs that we don't need. We won't need a lot of people, a lot of humans doing these jobs. Whether that's I think that we can work. I think if humans work with the AI technology and it's being used for good, which I see, good in God and all this winning ultimately heaven on earth coming. I think that I think things are just going to be just fine. Okay. That's what I just had an intuitive thought of. Yeah, it's talking about self-initiated plans are but defenses, but the purposes of all of them were made to realize they are the means by which a frightened mind would undertake its own protection at the cost of truth. I mean, go back and watch this again. Read this. Go get the book. Read this over to you. Take this in. This is not difficult to realize in some forms which these self-deceptions take, where the denial of reality is very obvious. Yet planning is not often recognized as a defense. Right there, last sentence. Yet planning is not often recognized as a defense. A defense from you living into what it's not about what we necessarily want. It's not about our expectations, right? That came up in a conversation earlier that I had today. It's not about our expectations. It's about what that force, that God, that goodness, that God, that universe, that all that is wants for us and why we're truly here. That's the path we're to be on. And that may not line up with being the doctor and all this stuff that you thought you wanted to be. That's when it gets tough for the rubber to meet the road. When your expectations aren't met and what you thought you should be doing and what you thought your life was going to look like, that's what causes a lot of resistance and a lot of pain and suffering in people. And I see it all the time. I see it in myself. I pick up on it all the time in myself now. So that's a big one. Massive sentence right there. I keep losing my spot here today. Sorry about that. Right here it is. Paragraph 15, we're on to. The mind engaging in planning for itself is occupied in setting up control of future happenings. Here it is. It's like the control freak in you. It's the trying to avoid anxiety, my son does this all the time. This is a little story I can share with you. We're at the park yesterday. My mom's visiting. We're walking in the park, got the dog, my mom, my daughter, my son. He's always, what's happening next, Dad? What, where are we walking next? Can we do this? Can we go there? Can we have this when we get home? Yada, yada, yada. I said, son, let's just be here now. I'm being that angel for him. The angel I never had. I never had this in my life, right? Like I never had this person in my life that showed up and did this for me. So I'm trying to play that role for him. Let's just be here now, son. That's it. Now. Maybe I'll just start with him. I'll have a little conversation with him and say, look, when I say the word now, that means reel it in and get present. Because you're worried about things that it's like energy draining. It's like an energy vampire to think that way, right? I've thought that way a lot in my life too. I'm just trying to be a doer of God or a doer of what is, a doer of good, right? Like I'm trying to remind you, get out of that. Don't worry about that. You're losing it. You do that enough, you're going to be tanked. Your energy is going to go, and that's what it's happened in my life for sure. That used to be me. I'm not saying that it's not still me to a certain extent, but I'm working on it and I'm trying to improve, So, that was a little story from yesterday. There was another one with my daughter. She kept messing, life kind of bit her back a little bit. I'll just leave it at that. And her mom and I have been trying to relay her, hey, this certain thing that you're doing, you may want to rethink this. You may want to stop doing this, but that doesn't always work, right? With people, with humans, with kids. They don't always want to, they're rebellious. We're independent. I don't want to knock that out of her, but she got a hard life lesson yesterday. So, we're supposed to show up. We got to show up as this angel, as this person of God, as this person of the universe, as this person of good nature, and not push our views on people and push things on people, but be a reminder of love. I'm here to love you. I'm here to, hey son, reel it back in from thinking about what's going to happen in the future, and let's create that right now. Let's see here. Where was I? Paragraph 15. The mind engaging and planning for itself is occupied in setting up control of future happenings. It does not think that it will be provided for unless it makes its own provisions. So there you go. It's a source of disconnectedness, right? You don't feel connected. You must not believe in what is because you're trying to create it yourself. It's a disconnection from God. Sorry, I'm moving around a lot today. I stand when I do these videos, and today it's kind of funny. I feel good, but my legs are kind of tightening up a little bit. But hey, like I said, I'm real and raw on these videos, so it is what it is. We'll get there. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out sometime. Or maybe it's just supposed to be that way. Anyway, let's move on. Time becomes a future emphasis to be controlled by learning and experience obtained from past events and previous beliefs. It overlooks the present, for it rests on the idea the past has taught enough to let the mind direct its future course. How the heck are we going to live our lives if we think that what happened in the past is always going to happen? That's going to be a pretty miserable existence, right? I know it would be for me, personally. It would be, you would never change. You would just think that everything that's happened that way. Now, trust me, I've struggled with this. So, it overlooks the present, for it rests on the idea the past has taught enough to let the mind direct its future course. You got to be present to be living into what is. You got to be present so that what's supposed to be, what the course that God wants you to take, can come in. If you're controlling it and you're creating it, there's no room for it. Paragraph 16. I better get moving here. This one's a long one. The mind that plans is thus refusing to allow for change. Right there. That's the thing I just said about change, right? Like, you can't change that way. What it has learned from becomes the basis for its future goals. Its past experience directs its choice of what will happen. And it does not see that here and now is everything it needs to guarantee a future quite unlike the past. So if you don't know what's in your life in the past, listen to these couple sentences. Without a continuity of any old ideas and sick beliefs, anticipation plays no part at all, for present confidence directs the way. Paragraph 17. Defenses are the plans you undertake to make against the truth. Right there. You're defending against the truth. The very thing that if you just let go and live into, your life would be beautiful. Their aim is to select what you approve and disregard what you consider incompatible with your beliefs of your reality. Right? If your beliefs aren't changing, defenses are the plans you undertake to make against the truth. Their aim is to select what you approve and disregard what you consider incompatible with your beliefs of your reality. I don't know what I was going to say there, so we'll just move on. Yet what remains is meaningless indeed, for it is your reality that is the threat, which your defenses would attack, obscure, and take apart and crucify. Paragraph 18. What could you not accept if you but knew that everything that happens, here it is. Here's this sentence that I was talking about. This is something that keeps coming up for me and keeps coming up for me and keeps coming up for me. So guess what? It's God trying to get my attention. What could you not accept if you but knew that everything that happens, all events, past, present, and to come, are gently planned by one whose only purpose is your good? Reread that, listen to that again, and ask yourself, what if I lived into that? I got that emotion, and I got that tingle in my body when I'm getting a message from the universe right now that this is a truth. What if you let go and lived into that? Perhaps you have misunderstood his plan for he would never offer pain to you. But your defenses did not let you see his loving blessing shine in every step you ever took. Man, the depth in this, the beautifulness in this. I hope you're able to stick with me through this. While you made plans for death, he led you gently to eternal life. This is really getting me emotional. This is powerful stuff. Paragraph 19. Your present trust in him is the defense that promises a future undisturbed, without a trace of sorrow, and with joy that constantly increases as this life becomes a holy instant set in time, but heeding only immortality. Let no defenses but your present trust direct the future. Trust in him. Trust in what is. And this life becomes a meaningful encounter with the truth that only your defenses would conceal. I don't know about you, but this life for me, up to this point, hasn't felt these things, hasn't felt meaningful. I was just talking to my mom about this yesterday. Very confused. Don't understand my purpose here. Don't understand this. The world I'm seeing doesn't mean much to me. But when I'm in this stuff, when I'm in all that is, I feel it and I sense it. Paragraph 20. I'm trying not to lose it here emotionally on the video. Without defenses, because this emotion's coming from a place of how much suffering I've felt and how dark it's gotten at times in my life, and not understanding this world, not understanding this, not understanding my role here. Paragraph 20, without defenses, you become a light which heaven gratefully acknowledges to be its own. Get rid of those defenses, man, because heaven's waiting for you. And it will lead you on in ways appointed for your happiness according to the ancient plan. Oh, man. The ancient plan. This stuff's been around forever. We've been drawn off path. We've been disconnected from this stuff, unfortunately. Or I don't understand. I won't even go there. And it will lead you on in ways appointed for your happiness according to the ancient plan, begun when time was born. Your followers will join their light with yours, and it will be increased until the world is lighted up with joy. So this to me was like, I have to show up. I have to show up and be this. To have people say, I want to be that too. And then one by one, the world's lighted up with joy. I take from that heaven on earth. And gladly will all brothers lay aside their cumbersome defenses, which availed them nothing and could only terrify. This is a world we could live in if people would just let go of their defenses. I'm guilty. I am still working on giving up these defenses. This lesson was a massive step in me doing that. Paragraph 21. We will anticipate that time today will present confidence, for this is part of what was planned for us. So like you coming to this video, me coming to this course, me sharing this course, this is all kind of gently guided by all that is, the creator, the source, God, universe, nature. Everything in your life is. It's what you choose though. You have a choice. You have free will. You can not listen. You can be defensive, or you can be in this. You can be over here. This all-encompassing love. That's all we are. I talk about it all the time at the end of the videos, which I'm about to get to. We will anticipate the time today with present confidence that this is part of what was planned for us. We will be sure that everything we need is given us for our accomplishment of this today. We make no plans for how it will be done, but realize that our defenselessness is all that is required for the truth to dawn upon our minds with certainty. These defenses will show up in all kinds of different ways in your life. This will all be a personal awakening for you of what that means and what that is. You know, paragraph 22. A couple more paragraphs will be done here. For 15 minutes twice today, we rest from senseless planning and from every thought that blocks the truth from entering our minds. So you got defenses and you got thoughts that need to be let go of, reprogrammed. We need to think differently. We need to open up to different and new thoughts, new beliefs, and practice this relentlessly. Today we will receive instead of plan that we may give instead of. Today we will receive instead of plan that we may give instead of organize. And we are given truly as we say. If I defend myself, I am attacked. But in defenselessness, I will be strong, and I will learn what my defenses hide. That last one, I highlighted that last part of the last sentence. Will learn what my defenses hide. 23, paragraph 23. Nothing but that. If there are plans to make, you will be told of them. They may not be the plans you thought were needed, nor indeed the answers to the problems which you thought confronted you. So here's where expectations comes in. Acceptance to what is. I had expectations that I was going to be, like I was talking about earlier with the kids growing up. I wanted to be a lawyer or a doctor. That might not be your path. You got to open up to the fact that that's not it. This may not be the plans you thought were needed. But they are, let me see here, nor indeed the answers to the problems which you thought confronted you, but they are answers to another kind of question which remains unanswered yet in need of answering until the answer comes to you at last. Paragraph 24. All your defenses have been aimed at not receiving what you will receive today. And in the light and joy of simple trust, you will but wonder why you ever thought that you must be defended from release. Heaven asks nothing. Here, I talked about this earlier in the video. Heaven asks nothing of you. It is hell that makes extravagant demands for sacrifice. You give up nothing in these times today when undefended, you present yourself to your Creator as you really are. Paragraph 25. He has remembered you. Today we will remember Him. Today we'll make some time for Him. Make time for Him every day, is what I say. And of course, the course wants you to do these lessons every day. So, for this is Easter time in your salvation, and you rise again from what was seeming death and hopelessness. I felt there. I've said in videos before, I felt like not being here. I felt like getting out of here, whatever way I could, and hopeless. Oh my gosh, yes. Now is the light of hope reborn in you. For now you come without defense, to learn the part for you within the plan of God. What little plans or magical beliefs can still have value when you have received your function from the voice from the voice for God Himself. Paragraph 26. Try not to shape this day as you believe would benefit you most, for you cannot conceive of all the happiness that comes to you without your planning. Learn today, and all the world will take this giant stride and celebrate your Easter time with you. Throughout the day, as foolish little things appear to raise defensiveness in you and tempt you to engage in weaving plans, remind yourself this is a special day for learning and acknowledge it with this. This is my Easter time, and I would keep it holy. I will not defend myself because the Son of God needs no defense against the truth of His reality. Wow, end of lesson. I thought the last video I did was a long one. We're getting up close to here, 45 minutes. So I better wrap it up. Whoa, take that one in. Go over that one. Watch it again. Get the book. Practice the course yourself. Read the lessons as many times as you need to. Always coming, always striving to be that unconditional love that I believe that's all we are. That we can get to that lighting up, that place of light and joy that it speaks of in the lesson today, that heaven on earth. And realize that we are the miracle all together. This is unified. And all we are is love. Drop the defenses and get living into what we were really supposed to be doing here. And that's a unique journey. Not to be judged or placed, conditions upon. So, all right, I'm out of here. Till next time.